Welcome everybody to the July 9th, 2026 ESS Finance Subcommittee meeting. Well, start really quick to go through the members to make sure we have a quorum. I have Stacy here, Mel,
Here.
Sherry Jones.
Here.
Natalie is not able, she sent us an email, so Natalie is not here. Geraldine,
Here.
Amy,
Here.
Kelly, and Susan.
Here.
Awesome. We do have a quorum. That's great. Thank you, everybody. Okay, we'll start with the June 11th, 2026 summary of subcommittee actions, the minutes. Has everyone had a chance to review those? Do we have any questions, modifications, additions, corrections? Hearing none, I would take a motion for approval.
This
This
is
is
Mel.
Sherry.
I
I can move to approve.
Let's
I'll
go with
second.
Sherry and Mel second. Okay, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And before we get knee deep, Sherry, are you okay go ahead and checking the chat? Make sure we get
I'll
those.
take care of that for you.
Okay, thank you very much for doing that. Okay, we'll go on to the financial reports. The accounts receivable update from Lisa.
So, Sam, can you make that bigger? Geez. Thank you. The most of this is related to maintenance from counties. Okay, now we've lost the page, and everything that is in yellow we have received. So after the end of the month, because we know people pay in the fiscal year, the remaining we will follow up with them. And it looks like there is one from a submitter likely due to a bad payment, and we'll make sure we get that. Samantha has done an amazing job following up on all of our bad payments. So we're in really good shape there.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa. Does anybody have any questions about that?
My payment got sent last week, so it should be
Okay.
coming.
So we'll put you in light yellow.
It's okay. I'm okay with being next month. It was, the product of just not enough money.
Oh,
Well,
sure.
it happens. And Mel, you're not alone, clearly. So
Nope. I know I felt really bad though.
It's okay. Checks in the mail.
The check's
right?
in the mail.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
that's
can
okay.
only do what you can do with
That's right.
money. So
That's right. Okay, we'll move on to the July summary of the June ESS payments, page 7 and 8 in your packet with Samantha.
The accounts payable report for June. There's a few items that we don't normally see month to month. We did receive the data maintenance invoice. This one is specifically from Mahaska County, and it is for the imaging service. And then and then the visionary invoice also did come in during the month. This is for the website redesign for $3,876. Our insurance invoices for July through June of 2027 are starting to come in. The Chubb expense here is $3,249. And then just below that, we had a document that had to be canceled from Simplifile, and they needed to resubmit it. So this invoice here is for that. And then we asked them a check to reimburse them.
Can you make it just a little bit bigger, please?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Is that better?
no, you're getting
No.
closer.
Old eyes, old glasses. Thank you.
Better, yeah, thank you. Sorry, you can probably see up my nose. I'm getting so close to my screen.
The $1,680 is for Kelly Wallace for consulting services. This invoice is actually relating to the months of March through May. The $200 For Brooks Law Firm, we had a little bit of a hiccup in the system and they were charged twice for a group. So this is reimbursing them for that double charge. The $1,531 is for the nationwide insurance for June through June of next year. And the $165.30 was for mileage so that a couple team members could attend summer school. $6,056.25 is for the SUS renewal. We did do 5 virtual licenses this year, or sorry, 15 virtual licenses this year. And the $12,623.60 is for the DB2 renewal. Credit card charges for the year, just a couple charges that we don't normally see every month. The $575 is for the annual PRIA membership. The $530.74 is for Jamie to attend the PRIA conference. This is for her airfare. And the $640.24. So this is actually a normal charge that we see every month, but I highlighted it because there's 2 in this month. So when Jamie first started, we were talking about moving expenses into the month that they actually were for. So we met with the auditors, and we were just going to start this in January 2027, and he said, nope, go ahead and start it right away. This will decrease our audit entries at year end, and so we're going to start doing that starting in June. So it's kind of going to mess up the budget numbers that you see next month, but we'll fully explain that when we cover June's financials and the budget. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thanks, Samantha. There's a lot going on. Does anyone have any questions at all? Once again, you've just explained everything really well. And thanks for highlighting the ones that are a little bit different. Anyone?
I'd just say I like the proactive change to reduce journal entries. So that's really great that you guys were able to work on that and get that done. So I know it's a little more explaining the next few months, but I appreciate the work and thinking outside the box.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else have any comments or questions? Hearing none, I would take a motion for approval of the July summary of the June ESS payments.
This is Geraldine. I'll make that motion.
Thanks, Geraldine. I'll go ahead and second if you guys don't mind. All in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Oh. Motion carries. I'm sorry, Sherry, I cut you off.
No, it's okay. I was just catching Amy's eye in the chat pod.
Okay, great. Okay, so we'll move on to the July Fund 255 reimbursement invoice.
255 reimbursement invoice for July 1st. It came in at $49,055.10. Just as a reminder, this is from the $1 fee attached to every recorded document in the state of Iowa. And we are using this invoice to help cover payroll for the month of June. And I'm sorry, this is so blurry. I'm kind of wondering if my Adobe needs a little refresh. I'd be happy to answer any questions on the Fund 255 reimbursement.
And Samantha, remind me, we are we getting caught up?
Yes, we are all back on track.
Great. Okay. So the state treasurers they know what they're doing now for this. I mean that in the nicest of ways, but
So
So-
as a reminder to everyone who might not have been here when we talked about this initially, the money that you send for the documents that were recorded apparently somehow goes to the DOT. This is what we were told by the treasurer. And then they make sure it gets into Fund 255. And in 1 month, it didn't arrive. It was misapplied. So we didn't have a deposit in there. So we had to go back and ask them to correct it. And so because the funds weren't deposited, we didn't submit an invoice for that amount. So this is the catch up. And if anyone has questions, shoot us a message and we will walk you through and show you all the documentation.
Yeah. And, as recorders, that makes sense because by the 10th of every month, the following month, we have to give our $1 per document to our county treasurer, and then they are to submit it. So that makes sense that the DOT is involved somehow. So just for clarification. Okay. Any other comments or questions on that? Hearing none, I would take a motion for approval.
Says Mel, I can move to approve.
Thanks, Mel. Do I have a second?
This is Geraldine. I'll
Sherry.
second.
I'll give that to Geraldine. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to the Fund 0823 account with Jefferson County.
So I did edit the packet to include this policy, and I'll resend the corrected policy out, corrected packet out, right after this meeting, and then also post it on the website. But I just thought that everyone should be fully aware, of what the policy is, and I did confirm this with the state treasurer, 2 weeks ago, that everything is correct, and this was never an interest-bearing account, so I did include the balance as of, today. This has been the balance for about 10 years, I think. So currently the balance is $4,958.37. To our records, Jefferson is owed $4,808.88. And we do have 2 invoices from them, one for a printer that they would like to be reimbursed for $2,719.79. And then also we confirmed that they would like the reimbursement on their maintenance fees for $2,028.01, which leaves them still owed $61.08. But I'm not sure if they would like to submit another invoice for maybe like paper or something of that sort. So we do have an unreconciled balance in the account of $149.49. And in the policy, it does say that the ESS committee has to approve all of these in our September meeting. So I think, Stacy, we're looking for a recommendation from the finance committee to give to the ESS committee to do with the leftover money.
Gotcha. So we really don't need a motion. We just need a recommendation. Correct?
Lisa?
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. So does everyone understand? So way long ago, this fund was established and all the other counties had drawn down this money to be used to help set up for electronic recording, the way that I understand. And this was an outstanding balance that the treasurer had in this Fund 823 that Jefferson County never drew down any of those funds. So it just sat there. So that's what was happening. So I can go ahead. I don't know if you mind if I make a recommendation for Jefferson County to be reimbursed for not only the payment of the $2,719.79 for this RICO equipment, along with the $2,028.01 for their maintenance I'd recommend that they be reimbursed for that dollar amount and then ask them to submit a bill for the balance of, what was it, $61 and a penny, or do
6108.
6108 to be totally reimbursed to get this to fund to a zero or somewhat of a zero balance.
And then Stacy, I did talk to the treasurer of state and they said, if it was your recommendation, we could submit an invoice for ESS.
Oh,
or
good. Okay.
For that remaining 149.49.
And then would that, would the remaining balance just go to ESS as a miscellaneous income?
I believe so. We could maybe submit the ESS lunch expense in September.
Okay. I think that sounds doable. So yeah, I would recommend we get this fund taken to zero. It's been looming for a long time, and I appreciate your work on it, Samantha, and Lisa's work, and Phil, and everybody involved to get this taken off the books in the state treasurer's office. So does anyone else have any kind of questions, or would everyone else be in favor of that recommendation? It's not really a motion, but I would look for some extra members.
And in the chat bot, want to know if maybe there's something more business focused versus lunch expense.
Sure, we can identify something.
Yeah, and Susan thinks it's a good idea also to get it cleaned up, and I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree also.
Yeah, great.
And we do
wanna
have
speak
we
for the
do have
group,
history
so-
on this account. So if you're a newer recorder, not familiar with this, and want to know the history of what happened in your county with Fund 823, we can dig into that for you.
That's great. Thanks, Lisa, for that. And does everyone understand? I don't want to move on until all questions are answered, and hearing none. Thanks again to the ILR team. We'll move on to the May 2026 financial reports, starting on page 15.
The Bankers Trust settlement account opened with a beginning balance of $0 and ended with a balance of $0. Sorry, struggling with the packet. The account was successfully reconciled. And the Bankers Trust money market sweep account began with a balance of $1,287,671.44 and ended with a balance of $1,202,097.74. During the month of June, we were at 2.53 interest rate. Interest earned during the month was $2,589.12. And the reconciliation for the money market sweep account. And the drawdown account with a cleared balance of $99,496.20. Budgeted profit and loss for the month of May. Budgeted income of $158,040.91. With budgeted expenses of $154,929.42, with the net income for the month of $3,111.49. For the full profit and loss for the month of May, again, budgeted income at $158,040.91, with revolving income of $3,871,782.34. with a gross profit of $4,029,823.25. Again, budgeted expenses at $154,929.42. And then the main difference between the budgeted profit and loss and this profit and loss are these reserves expenses, back file redaction expenses of $1,043.18. Additional office fixtures and equipment of $202.97. And software developing consulting of $83,100. And just a reminder, this was the first payment to COT for the ILR notification system project. With total planned reserve expenses at $84,346.15. Depreciation for the month of $18,337.02. With revolving expenses at $3,853,921.98. With total expenses at $4,111,534.57. With a total net income of negative $81,711.32. 2025 to 2026 May comparison. Money market interest income is up 88%. Just a reminder, the Bankers Trust was able to increase our interest rate mid 2025. That would be the difference there. POS fee income is down 48%. We've been seeing this decrease in the entire year so far in 2026, and it is expected to be down for the remainder of the year. And then in 2027, we expect that to jump back up with every other year renewals at the county offices. E-submission fee income at 4.4% increase. And then the local service maintenance account. So last year we sent the maintenance invoices out at the very end of May, and this year and every year going forward, we will be sending those out in January. With a gross profit decreasing 38%, mostly because of those maintenance fee invoices being sent out in May last year. There is a 54% decrease in the project manager as Bill is going and doing less hours with the project. ESS meetings up 104.9% this year. This is mostly due to our admin team attending district meetings. Office supplies of $88.96. This is for the water supply in the new office. And then telephone here, this actually will be about $180 in June. When we switched to the new office, they got a couple lines confused and had an extra line on our account, but this has since been credited. Internet decreased $150 since last year, and this will be the new price for the internet at the new office going forward. And then with the move, we also had to get a firewall set up for $180, and this will also be the price every month going forward. Office tech support just up a little bit for the month of May. We had a couple other things that we had to have Iowa Solutions help us with the move. Bank analysis fee down 15% compared to last year. This is for the Bankers Trust settlement account, and then also the money market account also held with Bankers Trust. Credit card fees for the month up 87%. So this is actually for the month of April. We'll see this increase next month when we cover June expenses also. We are going to be putting these expenses in the month that they actually occurred. And then 16.7% increase for Vericheck ACH fees and a decrease of 44% for POS transaction fees, mainly due to the decrease in activity with the POS service. Total payment expenses down 10% compared to 2025. Conferences and meetings during the month of $1,572. This was for the reservation for the hotel for the PRIA conference for Jamie. And then promotional expenses of $51.34 to get Jamie some business cards. Policy coordinator down 100%. This position is currently vacant within ESS. And then the executive director, Jamie's new role, up 100% compared to last year. DigiCert, this is a normal expense. The expense just hit in April of this year instead of May. Developer equipment. Last year, we did need to get the developers some new computers. They were quite old, and one of them was not even charging. And then local maintenance expense, just a late lingering invoice this year that came in May. Overall, decrease in income of 96.9%, again, mostly due to the maintenance invoices being sent out in the end of May in 2025. Balance sheet, the BT settlement account with a balance of $742,597.01. Just a reminder, this is not the actual balance in that account. This is the amount of unreconciled transactions in the accounting software. With the BT money market sweep account, which is where our money actually lives, $1,202,097.74. With assets and liabilities equaling $2,690,170.42. Journal entries for the month of May. These mostly consist of the daily entries moving money in and out of the money market sweep account. And then down at the bottom, you'll see the May entry moving expenses to the reserve. Again, the back file redaction entry to move that entry to the reserve account. And then moving lobby chairs to the reserve. At the bottom, you'll see the monthly depreciation expense journal entry. For the credit card, the old credit card opened with a beginning balance of $3,335.80 and ended with a balance of $1,008.80. Hopefully in the month of July, we'll be completely closing out this account. We just need, I think, 2 more vendors switched over to the new card. And the new card with a beginning balance of $1,068.93 with an ending balance of $2,303.92. And the reconciliation for the credit card account. Fund 255 for the month of May, the beginning balance of $208,363.66 with an ending balance of $217,673.51. with total receipts of $49,055.10. And the reconciliation for the Fund 255 account. With the profit and loss with total net income at $9,309.85. And the balance sheet for the Fund 255 account with total assets and liabilities at $217,673.51. I'd be happy to answer any questions on the May financials.
Thank you so much, Samantha. Questions? Gosh, I'm so sorry. My team says do not disturb. I'm so sorry. Okay. Questions, comments on the May 2026 financial reports from the team or anyone on the call? That was a lot. Hearing none, I would take a motion for approval.
Says Mel, I can move to approve.
Thank you, Mel. Do I have a second?
This is Sherry. I can second.
Thank you, Sherry. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Ayes in the chat pod also.
Okay, opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. We will move on to the June metrics. So it looks like things are looking good.
We had a small increase over last year, which is always exciting. Looks like July is also off to a good start on Monday. Okay, so we have to take into account that Friday was a holiday, but on Monday there were 1,953 documents recorded electronically. And Sherry and I exchanged a couple emails earlier this week because as I'm checking eSubs during the day and see what's going on, Jones County was always popping up and she agreed it was a lot this week. So
Yeah.
And still,
it is. It's a good day.
Wow.
Susan's put in the chat pod, thanks to Samantha for a great explanation.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to the Denman CPA LLP audit report, page 154, starting in your packet.
The final audit report has been received. We will be covering this in the August meeting with a full review from the Denman team. I just wanted to put this packet, the final packet, in this month's packet so that you could review it and come back to the August meeting with any questions.
Great.
So then he will also review it with the ESS committee in September. And when that is complete, we will file it with the state auditor.
Awesome. Anyone have any additional questions or comments about the audit? Okay, let's move on to the ILR public site redesign with Visionary.
Kristen?
Good morning. I wasn't sure if you wanted me to speak on that.
Absolutely,
Okay,
we want you
yeah.
to speak on that. We're excited.
Yeah, so we're really excited to launch our redesigned website, which is set to take place on June 27th, or sorry, July 27th.
Okay.
We are within the testing phase. Our team is gonna go through another round of testing within the next couple of days. And then we'll have our focus group get a chance to click through and test everything, make sure we're set. And then that's about roughly 2 weeks from now, and we'll begin the launch over the weekend of the 25th and the 26th, just to make sure everything moves smoothly. The login page for CAS will continue to operate, but just in case, we're doing that initial launch over weekend. And I am going to send a full update on the website to all of the county recorders on Monday, just to let everybody know that we're close to this update And then we'll also be sending communications to all of our users to let them know that our public website is getting a redesign. So when they come to our site, they'll see a new layout, but we'll still have access to some of our training videos and training resources about search and e-submission. Does anybody have any questions, or did any other members of the team wanted to add something about the project?
Lots of work has been done going on, so thank you for all of
Yeah,
that.
thank you. Yeah, it's been a lot, but we're really excited for this refresh. We've grown a lot since this website has was first introduced. And then in addition to that, we're excited for a cleaner navigation process when you're looking for our meetings and trying to find training resources.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Kristen, for the update.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions or comments about the new website redesign? Okay, we'll move on to the property notification system project update.
Oh, I can provide this update. I
Morning.
think Phil just logged in, and might not be on here. So we've been really focused on implementing and talking through the UI pieces, the user interface. And so we've been talking a lot about how the notifications will be set up. There's been a lot of work focused on, the archiving of notifications and how long we're going to archive those. We've talked a lot about just the overall, users and having the notifications attached to the users. And there's been a lot of development work that's happened. And a lot of information is in work is being pushed out to the staging environment. And so we're able to start going through it, providing initial feedback on that development. And yeah, I think for the most part, we're right on schedule. I've been focused on an October launch date, and I think we'll be, hitting that date. It looks like we're kind of ahead of that date, but I'm just going to stick with October, of course. And so we're also going through and talking about the admin functionality, the the recorder's reports that will be available as well, and just finalizing, the fields that will be in those reports and things like that. But I feel pretty confident that the team has done a great job. There's been a lot of communication there. We continue to have weekly meetings and going through the work authorizations pretty quickly. So it's been a really great experience, but it's coming along just fine.
Great to hear. On budget and on task and on schedule. We like those things.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like a perfect project when those things happen. So
Right.
yeah, it's been a really good experience though. So a lot of decisions are still out there. I know that sometimes you just don't know all the decisions you're going to have to make until you're in the middle of developing it. But I feel like the vision is still there from the very beginning, and it will function as, the requirements have identified that vision, that the team worked on for 2 years before it started.
Great. That is awesome. Any other questions or comments about the notification system from those on the meeting?
Says Mel, just very exciting, and I appreciate the update.
Yeah. Okay, thanks, Jamie. And then we can move on into the annual report update.
I can take this one again, and if anybody else wants to comment on that, you can go ahead and jump in. But yeah, we have the published annual report. Yesterday, all of the county recorders should have received an email from Lisa with a link to the report. Otherwise, you can find it currently on our accountability and reporting page. Once we launch to the new website, the report will continue to be available under other reports, which you can find under meetings. We'll make sure to have a webinar to show you how to navigate that new website. And should have mentioned that in my other update, but I'll tell you about that in a minute here. So every recorder should have access to the published annual report. It's another big, long report where we go into a lot of detail on our operations. Samantha did a great job putting together our finance pages for that. And it's similar to some of the content that we had last year with a few additional pieces of information and that great description page of what all of our expenses are. The boards of county supervisors will be receiving a link to the annual report next week on Tuesday, July. I don't have a calendar in front of me. Is that the
14th.
14th? Yeah, July 14th. ISAC is distributing that for us on behalf of ILR, just because they have access to all of those emails for every county board of supervisors across the state. So we have some general talking points in the email that Lisa sent yesterday about some great stats on e-submission and how many records we have that are searchable in the search application. But if you guys have any questions or as the supervisors begin discussing with you about the Office of County Recorder or about Iowa land records, if you have any questions or need additional information to support those discussions with supervisors or other offices within your county, let us know. We're here to help. And I did make a quick mention about a webinar about our website, because where you want to be able to find the link to the annual report is going to change a little bit, but hopefully it's easier to find. We are going to host a webinar for county recorders on July 22nd at 10 a.m. It's not on the calendar yet, but I will make sure to include that in our communications on Monday. And we'll take a minute to walk through the site and I can show you where to find information such as the annual report.
That's great. Remind me again, Kristen or the team, when is the open house?
August 18th.
August 18th. Okay.
We did change that a couple of times, so sorry about that, but we have that. I'll have that noted on the communications as well.
Was it 10 to 4?
Is
that what I was?
I think that's all right.
Yeah, we're leaving it flexible.
ISAC.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to totally derail that, but I just
That's good.
had to ask about that. So
good question.
Awesome. Thank you. I think the annual report looks marvelous. A great job. I'm excited to talk to my board of supervisors about it. I'm going to wait and do it until August, I think, but it'd be a really good time for us to get on those board agendas and answer questions for our board of supervisors in our counties. So thank you very much. Questions, comments about the annual report, or really anything else about the good of the group?
I had one quick question from someone asking who C. Lawrence was that is joining us today. That's Cheryl Lawrence. She's the deputy in Hardin County. And as you may know, Lori Cadner, the recorder, is retiring, and Cheryl is running for that position. So it's nice to have her join us today.
Yeah, welcome. Welcome, Cheryl. Okay, so our next meeting is August 6th at 9 a.m. Looks like Ann just added a comment as well. That's all I have. So anyone else for the good of the group? If not, you guys have a good rest of your week. And thanks for all you do.
Thanks everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.